Hello and welcome to my instructional video for YouTube. What I'm going to be doing is that I'm going to take a bunch of concepts that I've heard friends of mine and other guitarists say are kind of confusing sometimes, and I'm going to break them down in a way that hopefully is really simplistic and easy to understand. This is geared more towards beginner guitarists, but hopefully intermediate and advanced guitarists can get something from this as well. So the topic that we'll be covering today is time signatures. And I think this is a very vital topic for all guitarists to grasp, because it's so important that you can jam with the band and have a good understanding of rhythm and timing. It's extremely essential, just as a musician in general. So first off, the numbers. A lot of people hear 4/4, 6/8, and all these numbers, and they don't know what they mean. The very basic way, and again, I'm keeping this in the simplest terms as possible, is the top number, the first number, is how many beats per measure that you're going to go. So, for example, with 4/4, you're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's one measure. So, if we take this to the guitar, 4/4 is the most common time signature. If you've ever turned on the radio, you've heard 4/4. So, if we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4/4, very common. Probably the next most common time signature that you've most likely heard, but you didn't know it was called this, is 6/8. And basically with 6/8, all you do is you, again, take the first number and you count it out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that's your measure. With 6/8, the natural accent of the rhythm means kind of where the feel or the impact of the rhythm is on the 1 and the 4. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's with a, again, standard 6/8 example. So, same idea. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 6/8. Those two are pretty easy because they have a natural flowing rhythm to them, and you hear them often. Where it gets a little tricky is when you start getting into what's called odd time signatures. And basically when somebody says that, what they mean is something where the first number is a 5 or a 7 or a 9 or something like that, an odd time signature. And what makes these tricky is the fact that they don't have an even pulse like 6/8 and 4/4 do. So they kind of feel like they flip-flop, or like they're missing a beat, or like they're adding a beat, depending on which way you look at it. And it's not as hard as it sounds. It just takes a little getting used to, and you have to kind of force your brain to go in that mode. But once you get it, it can be a really cool way to add dynamic to your songwriting. So we'll take 5/4 as the first example. And so with this, what we'll do is we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And remember, every time you cycle through a set of numbers, you're switching chords, or you're going to another measure, just to keep it very basic so you can really hear the impact of the time signature. So this is 5/4, and all I'm doing is I'm playing a A major bar chord that's opened up. I'm not barring the whole thing, and then it's a D major 7 over B. So I'll play this through, and I'll do it going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can split that up if you want. You can look at it as a 3 or a 2, or a 2 or a 3, or however you want. Same thing with 7, except this time we're going to do 2 7 instead of 5. So you could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's a 7. That's a measure of 7. So you can hear that. And basically you do that with any time signature that you hear. And the second number, the 4 or the 8 or whatever, is just basically the number of subdivisions within the beat. So, for example, 8/8 means that it's basically a 4/4 pattern, but you're dividing it up into 8 eighth notes. And I'll leave it at that for right now. So what I'll do now is I'm going to play a progression in the key of A, like I've been doing, and I'm going to loop it with the looping pedal, and then I'll play drums over top so you can hear an example of what it'll sound like. And I'll do it in 5/4. I hope that helps.